Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm here to talk about some labor stuff, and here's our disclaimer that we always have. It's also in the channel description if you ever want to revisit it. But today we are going to be talking a little bit about family leave. Maternity leave, paternity leave, what it's like in the US versus other countries, the ethics surrounding it, all sorts of fun issues, you know? So yeah, let's just hop right into it. Alright, the first thing we're going to really go through is how is it currently done in the United States? First of all, the big law surrounding this is the FMLA. So this is just a law that mandates at least 12 weeks of unpaid leave being offered to any employees for businesses that have 50 or more people employed there. No, it's pretty bare bones, pretty basic. I'm glad we have it, but it's a little small. You know, it's only 12 weeks. It's not fantastic. It's not perfect. But another little thing about this that I think is important to mention is that you can't do this and then additionally do your workplace's policy. So if your work offers 6 weeks of paid leave, you can't do your 12 weeks of FMLA and then the 6 weeks. You would have to only do 12 weeks is the thing. But 6 then would be paid. It's a whole thing. That's a bunch of legal jargon that you could probably go to a lawyer for. I'm just here to cover the basics of it. So we've got that going on for family leave, which is, pretty exciting. There was a bill last year in 2021 that was trying to get through Congress that had a little provision in there for increasing what the FMLA would do. So it would just be hey, here are some weeks that are gonna be paid. But then no Republicans liked it, and only a couple of Democrats liked that part, so it just got kind of slowly phased out of the bill. So we're still with the FMLA when it comes to family leave. But then if we go more towards the legality of just stuff that regards only the pregnant people. So I'm probably gonna say women, mothers a lot. Trans men can also get pregnant. A lot of the sources only say women and mothers, so I might get mixed up. I apologize. Anyway, pregnancy discrimination is this funky thing that used to happen in the workplace where it's if you were pregnant, you'd get mistreated. We all know what discrimination means at this point. If you don't, go ahead and give it a good old Google. So that was outlawed fairly recently in the grand scheme of things. That was outlawed in 1978 with the passing of the Pregnancy Discrimination Act. So that's not that old. It hasn't been around for too long. So it's just a little weird, But then moving on from the laws, because I know we love the law. The law is so fun, so interesting. But now we're gonna move into my other favorite thing, which is the statistics. So our first stat we have is that only 23% of American workers are currently offered paid family leave by their workplaces. What? That's a little low. That's a little low. I know the federal government doesn't require it, but guys, that's less than a quarter. That is less than a quarter of workers. It feels a little funky to me, at least. I'm not sure how y'all feel about it, but I feel a little funky about it. But then if we move away from just thinking about family, and we think about the fathers here. Here's a little stat that we're gonna bring up again later. I'm just covering it now because it's important to talk about at the very beginning, because I know a lot of y'all are gonna click off this video, so I'm talking about it right now. Only 5% of fathers take more than 2 weeks off when they're having a kid. Only 5% take more than 2 weeks. That is not a lot. And 2 weeks isn't even that much time. That's really weird, right? We're gonna jump into that more in depth later, but keep it in your head that a lot of this is gonna pertain more towards women, because a lot of men just don't take FMLA. Which again, talk about later. But before that, I just mentioned a lot of things about the United States. I know, I love talking about the United States. The United States is so fun, right? Can I put a /S for sarcasm up here? I think that'd be fun. So we're gonna just look at how some other countries in the world do it, our favorites, the rich ones. Alright, so as I just said, talked a lot about America. Here's some other countries and how many weeks of paid family leave that they're offering. You know, I'm sure it's not too different. So, Britain first. Yeah. I mean, Britain, I'm not a huge fan of them. They've done some messed up stuff. So I'm sure they don't offer more than us, right? No, 39 paid weeks. 39 paid weeks. Wowzers. Okay, but they've got to be the outlier, right? I mean, if America's only offered 12 unpaid, 39 paid must be like the high end. Sweden offers 68 weeks of paid leave. Well, shit. But certainly no one's going to offer more than that. Certainly that is the maximum. Estonia. 82 weeks. 82. Please remember that Sweden and Estonia have covered over a year. And of course, this one's like middle of the road. Japan with 52 weeks. A whole year. A whole year of maternity leave. When the US offers about 3 months. Unpaid. They offer a year. Paid. Guys, it's kind of embarrassing. Kind of embarrassing for us. Kind of an L, as the gamers would say. An L meaning a loss. In case you were unaware. But, they don't offer full pay. Not all of them do. So it's like partial pay. Like you'll only get like a fraction of your paycheck, like 2/3 of it or something. But you're still getting paid. And the US doesn't do that. Like we don't mandate it. That's a little crazy to me. But certainly, like I just only listed 4 countries, right? Like the US can't be one of the only people with, only requiring 12 weeks unpaid leave. Certainly other countries also don't require paid leave. And we would be correct. Phew, thank goodness, right? So, actually, there are 195 countries in the world, right? And 186 of them offer paid maternity leave. That means that it's the US and 8 other countries not offering paid maternity leave. That puts us greatly in the minority. So, like, it really makes me think here, like, why aren't we? If so many other countries can, why aren't we doing it? Like, it does not make sense. But that's, like, all about maternity leave, for the most part. Like, we just talked a lot about what the mothers go through, which is what a lot of people think about when we talk about things like this. Because, paid family leave tends to be a really big gender issue. Gender being, like, mostly towards women. It's a women's issue. But if you've spent some time in, like, feminist spaces, you know that a lot of the patriarchy, so, like, the men being in charge concept, the men being at the top, it also affects guys. Because sexism is not a great system for, like, anybody. So let's see how all these policies and all of these biases and stigmas in our society are actually affecting the fathers a lot more than people give them credit for. Okay, so remember at the beginning, I gave that whole statistic about how, like, only 5% of fathers take more than 2 weeks off. So, like, bring that back into your heads. We're getting back into it. We're diving deep. And we're wondering why. So a really big reason I found in my wonderful amounts of research, which you can always find in the description of the video, by the way, is that there's a lot of gender bias. Because we believe, for the most part in our society, that fathers are the providers. They're the ones who stay at work while the woman stays home and takes care of the kids. Classic nuclear family dynamic. And that, like, dads are less essential to the family than the mom. Like, they're only there to bring in the money and discipline the kids or whatever. I don't know. Here's a picture of a nuclear family, so you know, like, what we're kind of referencing with all this, okay? Yeah. So it's also another big thing about, like, why fathers may not take the leave if they don't absolutely have to, is that workers are perceived as being less committed to the job when they take the family leave. Which is really weird because, like, why? I'm sure they're just as committed. It's just that people have, like, lives outside the workplace, which we've covered before on this channel. If you go back a couple videos to, like, the first video on this channel, which I apologize for the quality, of course, Not that the quality's improved too much. We talk a lot about how it's important to have a good work-life balance, and this is kind of part of that. So why would a worker be considered less committed for taking time for their personal lives? I don't know. Especially because we'll cover some stuff later. I'm going to bring this up again later. I don't want to spoil it. You just gotta stick around to find out. But then, like, paternity leave. It's important. Jumping back on the track, because I keep going off the track. We need to stay on the track. Paid maternity leave is actually so important in the fight for gender equality. Because when fathers take time off to help, raise the kid and, like, deal with that transition from no kid to kid, it actually helps kind of bring back some of that stigma about having that family and brings back that gender bias of being like, oh, these women don't want to work because they're off popping out kids or whatever. Well, if the man is also taking time off work to help with the kid, then it becomes both. And it's no longer a gender issue if we can make that the norm. It just becomes a businesses are jerks issue, which we're aware of that already, but we want to get rid of the gender bias issue, because that's something we can absolutely tackle. So people should absolutely be promoting paid maternity leave and paternity leave and all that. So, like, if you're a business or you're someone who's about to be a dad, take your leave. Take that paternity leave, baby. It's a good choice. It's good for you. It's good for the mother's income of the child. The more time that the father takes off work, the higher the mother's income actually goes up. It's about 7% for every month the dad takes off, which is crazy. I did not know that before this. But, like, in addition to that, there's, like, oh my gosh, I couldn't even cover all of it if I wanted to, but it is so good. You can build better relationships with your kids, improves your family life, improves happiness, improves income further down the line, improves job satisfaction. There are so many reasons why fathers should be taking time off when they're having kids. And I think that the country needs to normalize that a little bit more. But again, getting off the track a little bit, we'll cover that a little bit later when we talk about the business side of things, which you guys know I love to do. But for now, we're going to just focus on the broad picture again and, like, why we should have paid family leave in the United States. Alright, why should we have it? I've kind of sprinkled it in a little bit every once in a while. All the good things that come with taking leave, especially in the last section where we talked about paternity leave. And now we're going to bring it back to, like, maternity and other stuff, So, boom, paid paternity leave actually increases women's workforce participation and reduces the gender pay gap. Like, that's awesome. Those are two things we want. We want to increase workforce participation, whether it's like for men or for women. We love when people participate in our workforces because it means we have more employees, which means more work gets done, which means more innovation and amazing things in society. Wow, it's wonderful. And then, of course, decreasing the gender pay gap. Lovely, wonderful. We should be paying people equally for the equal work that they do. And just, like, all of that. We've talked about the racial pay gap before, I believe. So, like, gender pay gap, I will absolutely love to shrink that as well. People really should be offering paid maternity leave, and if you're getting offered it, take it. Take it. It's so good for you. It's good for your family. It's good for you. Mental health, physical health, all of that good stuff. And, like, also, when employers, if you're an employer, please listen. When you offer paid family leave, more people want to work for you. Because people who have, like, a high amount of talent, they have high expectations for work. They want places that treat them like humans. So when you pay them, when they go on that family leave, more talented people are going to want to work for you. And you have a higher pool of more talented people to choose from when you're hiring. That's so great. Like, this is good for the businesses too. They should be doing this. Come on, guys. Like, you get more diversity in your workplace, you get more talent in the workplace, you get more commitment to your business and your mission, you get more innovation, and all the things that come with that. It is such a good idea. So, like, we're kind of getting onto the business road now. So, what should businesses be doing? Like, some of the reasoning behind that, because you shouldn't take me at face value. I'm going to give you some reasons. Alright, your family leave policy. What should you be doing? How should you do it? All that fun stuff. I've never created a family leave policy, but we've got some tips and tricks. So first of all, go beyond what the FMLA is going to guarantee. I think we've covered enough here to know that the FMLA is maybe not the most fantastic thing in the world. It's like a very bare bones thing. And like, the more that you offer, the more you differentiate yourself from competitors in the market for employees. So like, people want to work at your place more. And we offered like a little bit ago that gives you more talent, more diversity, all the good things that you want in your business. So going beyond FMLA, super good idea, great starting point. The next thing you should do is provide as much support for new fathers as new mothers. And I understand some parents are gender neutral, but we're working on a very binary scale with all of this. So I apologize for that. But by offering support for new fathers, you prevent gender bias, it improves the lives of the family, improves worker satisfaction. We covered that a little bit earlier too, because I jumped the gun a little bit, and that's okay. But yeah, by providing that support, it makes that diversity that you're getting even more effective. It's like, this is all building on each other. Like, this is a really good idea. But like, when you're creating the policy, you need to make sure that you're making the right choices in the process. So the last little tip or trick that I'm going to provide for my lovely employers watching this is to collaborate with other people when you're creating a policy. So that means working with human resources people, working with people who already have children who are working for you, people who might have children who are working for you, anyone who might want to have a say or may have like a good opinion on how to do this are important to talk to. And listen, I know that things like this cost money. And one thing businesses like is saving money. But at the end of the day, spending just like a little bit more in the grand scheme of things, because it's not like people are like popping out a baby every year, every single employee is popping out a baby every year, right? Like, that's not what's going on. This is not going to be like a all the time, everybody, all the time, every day thing. This is like just a really nice thing for a good subset of people. So like, you're not going to spend too much money on this, but it's going to attract a lot more people to your business. Even people who aren't planning on becoming parents, if they see you have a good family leave policy, and that you care about how people's lives are going outside of work, they're probably going to work for you more too. People like when employers treat people like humans, as well as their employees. So like, this just seems like a really good idea to me. So if you are an employer, and you are thinking about your family leave policy, I do encourage you to include something in there to provide people just like a little bit of pay, even if it's a fraction of their salary for a little bit. Just anything. It only really has benefits. There are very few downsides to this, other than like the money you spend. I don't know. So yeah, food for thought. Thank you so much for watching. I know this video is a little bit shorter than my last ones. It's probably because my last one was 27 minutes long. That's a little crazy, even for me. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything like that, please toss them in the comment section below. I know I probably missed a lot of stuff in this video. Again, sources are in the description. I love questions and all of that stuff. So everyone who's watching this, I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, whatever it is, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye!